All right, well, here's another episode of Marek Report. I'm going to talk for about 10 minutes about Kamala Harris today. And it's going to be like a little bit of a soft on details, more about impressions of Kamala Harris. And I actually want to talk a lot about her personality as opposed to her policy or her resume. I want to talk about her personality and her character and her history. And I mean, to kick it off, we recently saw her debate, and she debated very well. She came off as competent, empathetic, articulate, and she really did well in the debate, I would say, especially in terms of style. Now, in terms of substance, I think it would matter more whether you trust Donald Trump's policies or you trust her policies. So if we forget about substance and go on style, then yeah, I would say Kamala Harris was the stronger performer that night, and that's a big deal given this the magnitude of this election and the drama around Biden dropping out, and then she comes in and she puts in a good performance. Actually, I wanted to kind of classify her personality a bit, and I settled on two different avatars of this woman. And one is she's like a competent, progressive technocrat. She's smart. She talks the talk in terms of she knows what progressives want to hear, and she goes ahead and she says it. And she was in law, district attorney, and then attorney general of California. And I'm sure she was good at what she was trying to do. So that's one avatar, the competent technocrat, almost like a European progressive. And she happened to be kind of hard on crime, but there's more nuance to that. But she wasn't like a woke DA. And then the second avatar is the Kamala, the girl pop, the 60-year-old girl, the girl that's having a lot of fun, the girl that's laughing, the girl that's hanging out with older guys like Biden or some of the guys she dated coming up. And she's having a great time. She's dancing. She's not fighting, she's fawning. She's fawning over people. And you can see it. And sometimes she's just cracking jokes and she's having so much fun that Chuck Schumer has to stop the fun. Kamala, you're having so much fun again. Girls just want to have fun. So that's the Kamala 2024 girl pop. She's wearing a blazer and she's wearing slacks because she's a technocrat, but she's also wearing Converse sneakers because she's here to have fun. So I guess that was the easy part and that was the less detailed part. I'm sure you agree with me about that. She's a technocrat and she's a girl. And she's having fun. And she looks good for her age. And let's talk more about her past. I'm going to talk about her past. We'll get a little bit into her qualifications. And I also want to talk about her family background. So family background as well as her past, her resume, if you will, her professional pedigree. Coming up, she's been a politician for a long time, but she started as like a law person, first district attorney of San Francisco, and San Francisco was and is a sanctuary city. In Kamala, she upheld the sanctuary city status, and you had cases of some guy coming and killing a bunch of people, and he was never deported. He was an illegal immigrant, and she also didn't pursue the death penalty, so he ended up getting life sentences, but some people said it could have been perhaps prevented. That was her in San Francisco. I think before she becomes district attorney, she dates Willie Brown, who's a powerful state politician. She ends up becoming attorney general. Again, from what I read, she's getting the job done. I'm sure that's one of the most key positions you could have in law in the United States. And I think she's being effective. She's suing people. She's getting people in jail for murder and clearing up these cases. It seems like she does do something where she sues to help illegal immigrants with their wages. And so she's also dating these older guys like Willie Brown, who's a California politician, as I mentioned, and Montel Williams, who's a well-known entertainer. And then she's a senator. I mean, her history makes me think she's someone who basically toes the line. She'll fawn and work with various people, and it seems to me personally she's riding coattails of some of these different guys. Willie Brown and Biden. Her current husband is, and she becomes a stepmother to his kids, and he's an entertainment lawyer, and they have a lot of money, just good for them. And I don't see her really bucking the trend. She rides the wave. She rides the Obama wave. She's often called like a female Obama because she's all the things liberals like to see in a candidate, and she's progressive. I mean, I think her mother worked or studied at Berkeley, and she just grows up in that kind of liberal enclave. I think of Obama going to Columbia University. I think of Kamala in the Bay Area. They're basically born around the same time, 4 years apart. Obama's a little bit older. He looks a lot older. Kamala's looking good. Obama looks a lot older. Likely, maybe he saw a lot of footage of children in the Middle East being blown apart by his drones or something. That's a little joke. Even liberals will appreciate that joke. But Obama does look like he's aged a bit. Kamala, again, dancing girl, very spry, spring chicken type. And that's all I'm going to tell you about her career. That's all I know. But really the big thing about her career and what's relevant right now is Kamala got with Biden. She ran against Biden in the primary in 2019. And she went after Biden, and she's gone after Trump. She's called Trump a criminal. At the debate, she was fairly cordial with Trump, but did also point out his legal issues in these Democrat jurisdictions. But let's not mince words. She got with Biden. And what does that really mean? Well, her being VP didn't really change much of anything, I would imagine. But she was Biden's border czar. So having come from being the district attorney of a sanctuary city, upholding that, she becomes the border czar. And in theory, she's trying to stop illegal immigration or make things a bit smoother. That's a huge issue right now in 2024. And recently a poll came out, this is a New York Times poll, like Trump is ahead 5 points in Arizona. And I have to believe some of that is due to these border issues. So her record there, I would say, is not great. Again, rolling with Biden, everyone's complaining about economic issues, whatever color or political stripe, Jew or Gentile, the economy does not feel great, mainly because of inflation, the supply chain issues, which we had, all the stuff coming out of the lockdowns. It has not been an easy ride for many, many people. And again, she was VP. Do I think she could have fixed all that? I doubt it, but she was riding with Biden, so I feel like she should be held to some account for the economy. And immigration and economy are the two big things. I would make no bones about that. I think those will have the power to swing the election, which is coming up. It's honestly about a month. You can figure out where you can go vote. You can figure out if you're going to do a mail-in ballot. You're going to figure it out. You're going to figure out who you vote for. And the thing about Biden, not to get into it, but I think he's going to go down as both corrupt and inept. And I don't think he's really running policy. I don't think he's running foreign policy. We had the top 3 Biden blunders. Check out my channel. I talk about the top 3 Biden foreign policy blunders. And there are some doozies. And do I think that Biden and Kamala were in a room trying to figure out, hey, how are we going to do Afghanistan? No, there's dudes. There's the Democrat Party. George Clooney comes out of nowhere and he says, Biden, you're done. And then Kamala appears and is appointed. So think about that. So law, public service in California, senator, riding with Biden, and now Democrat candidate. And they're trying to do the same thing, like, hey, this is going to be great, good feelings. Obama 2.0, we're going to get that same mad sugar rush of racial reckoning. Like, when you get that sense of justice and accomplishment and satisfaction when you right a terrible wrong, you're going to get that when you vote for Kamala. And that joy has been spreading, and we know she's a happy camper. You, in turn, become happy by watching her. And the last part I want to talk about is probably the most maybe relevant to her, or something that makes Kamala stand out. Much like Obama, actually, she has mixed parents. So Kamala is Afro-Indian, African by way of her Jamaican father, and Indian by her Indian. And, Trump got in some trouble because he sort of, in a ham-fisted ways, pointed out that, he said that she used to identify as Indian, now she's identifying as black. I don't think it's as simple as that, but I would not be surprised at all that she used to play more into her Asian side at times. Like maybe when she was trying to be district attorney of San Francisco, she'd play up that Asian side. And then you see videos of her code switching. She's talking different when she's talking to a different audience. And although Trump maybe didn't put it the best way, I think that is a valid argument. And like Obama, Kamala's father is not in the picture for too long. I think Obama's parents were married for 3 years. Kamala's were married 7 years, and the father kind of went off. And it seems like Kamala mostly grew up under her mother. And I think that's kind of interesting. This is like very modern thing. I don't recall any other presidents having these, not having like a strong father in their life, but it's, we're talking about, we're post-1960s, we're post-sexual revolution, and divorce is all different. And I'm not sure Kamala's father likes her that much. Kamala's father is named Donald, and Donald Trump's name is Donald. That's an interesting coincidence. And Kamala just said something about smoking pot and made like a joke. And the father went off and he's like, my departed grandmothers, whose legacy, something on his website. His parents are all turning in their graves. He's seeing their proud Jamaican identity being connected to a stereotype of a pot-smoking joy seeker. But aren't we supposed to seek joy in the pursuit of identity politics? So, that's rough coming from your dad. On a website, it looks like. This is from a Politico article. I don't have the full blog or whatever this was, or quotation. But does Kamala's dad like her? Good question. He's still alive. How would that play out? How would the Harris Donald play versus the other Donald? These are all good questions. So I would consider this when you're going to vote.